Hi and welcome back to the cottage. Join me today as I discuss some of the benefits of living in a highly simplified home. Greetings from Minnesota, where we are having an unusually mild winter this year. It has been unseasonably warm and snow-free. In fact, we had a brown Christmas. But it finally snowed an inch or two last night, and my husband and sons got right to work this morning, taking on the task of snow blowing the driveway and shoveling the porch and sidewalk. So now that it finally feels like winter, I'll admit it seems kind of strange to be taking down the Christmas decorations, but I know that they can't stay up forever, and today is the day that I want to get this job done. The tagline that I have for this channel is simple home, simple living, and I really do think that the two go hand in hand. Now, we did have the benefit of designing our home from the ground up, which I realize isn't a reality for everyone. But when I'm talking about simple homes, I'm not really talking about the design of the space, more so the way that it's organized, the way that it functions, and finding some good systems to help things run smoothly. And that has really been such a game changer for us. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about the benefits of living in a simple home. The first benefit that I want to talk about is how easy it is to store things that I want to keep and then access them as needed. Now, we do live as minimalists, and sometimes that gets, people start to think that we are not allowed to keep things or store things, but that isn't the case. There are some things that we store, and one of them, a good example, is the Christmas decorations that we have. Now, I have pared down our decor to just our tree and then 2 small suitcases of ornaments and miscellaneous items. And that is really for us the perfect amount needed to get our home looking festive for the holiday season. And then when the season's over, it really doesn't take much time at all to pack everything up and then store it in one of the closets in our girls' room. So in this aspect, when it comes to storage, we have proper space to store things, but they're not overfilled. And so pulling that tree and those decoration boxes out of storage is so easy to do, and it's actually not a burden at all. And I know that before we simplified our home, we had tons of totes filled with decorations and miscellaneous items that we had to really juggle through, and it just took so much longer. And so that is one really great benefit of living in a simplified home. The storage that you have is useful and you can access things easily. The next benefit that I want to talk about is how subtle changes can make a big impact. If you have a simplified home and your decorations are not over the top, they're not filling your walls, it is so easy to make changes and really have that be a statement. So for example, now that the decorations for Christmas are put away in our living room, dining room space, I'm going to focus my attention on making this living room set up for the rest of winter. So I'm going to change around some of the furniture, put up some new decor pieces, and usually it's very quick and easy, and it just brings new life to this space. I've said before that rearranging furniture is one of my favorite things to do to change up a room and give it just a fresh start, a fresh look at it. And I like doing this seasonally. Now, we had our Christmas tree in the corner, as you saw earlier, and I liked this arrangement, but when we have our couch rotated the other direction, the sun, the lower winter sun, doesn't get in our eyes if we're sitting at the couch during certain times of the day, and so I prefer the couch to be in this spot instead of the way it was before. So I'm going to do that and then bring in some other just decoration pieces to give the space again that new, clear, clean feeling for the rest of winter. And I will keep this decoration scheme going for the rest of winter, and when spring comes, I'll change it up once again, probably rearrange the furniture again, and it will just be that easy to make a big impact in the decor with just doing a couple of things. Living in a highly simplified home has encouraged us to not procrastinate when it comes to projects that need to be accomplished or maintenance that needs to be done. So over Christmas break, we had a couple of things happen that needed some attention. And I know that before, when we were living in a more cluttered environment, we just didn't have time to really tend to those things, and they'd get pushed back and pushed off for a long time. But now that we have this simplified space, we see these issues and we address them as quickly as we can. The first thing that happened was our kitchen faucet started to drip. We have had some problems with the valves on this faucet, and it is a good quality faucet, and so I don't know exactly what the issue is other than it just gets used a lot, and so it's getting worn out fairly quickly. But my husband knew exactly what to do. He ordered the valve and replaced it. It took really probably 2 minutes or less to get the job done. But if you've ever experienced a leaky faucet before and that dripping sound, it can really be annoying and drive you crazy. And so I'm happy that he was able to get to that task right away. And the other thing that happened was entirely my fault. I'll take the blame for it. I put up the advent calendar on this wall using what I thought was a gentle 3M strip that we could just pull off easily, but it ended up being some sort of really strong adhesive. The mastic of it stuck to the wall so strong that my husband had to try so many different things to get it to go away. He ended up having to heat the wall with a blow dryer, and as you can see, that sort of melted part of the wall. And so we had to patch it. Again, these are just things that we found to be easier to do now that we live in a highly simplified home. We're able to address those things right away when they happen and not procrastinate and put them off. Another benefit that we have seen from living in a simple home is the ability to multitask more easily. Now, I've talked about multitasking before, and in some cases, I think the concept is a little bit of a myth, but when it comes to homemaking, I do think that it can be effective when you are multitasking things that don't require a lot of brain power or effort. So for example, today I need to wash the boys' bedding. They each have their own queen size bed, and we have simplified the amount of bedding that we have in our home to one set of sheets per bed. And so that means that if I want to wash bedding, it needs to get done that same day. And the bedding for 3 queen-size beds can be a little bit much. It's sort of bulky. And so this will be an all-day task that I need to do, and I don't want to just be working on this solely. And so I'm able to, because our home is simplified, I'm able to be doing other things. Like you saw earlier, I took down the Christmas decorations, and I can have that going at the same time that I'm doing the laundry, because I'm able to remember when I need to turn things over, move things from the washing machine to the dryer, and then bring them back up to the bed. I can just do this throughout the day. And that can guarantee for me that at the end of the day, they'll be sleeping on clean bed sheets. Living in a highly simplified home has allowed me to prioritize the aspects of life that we deem to be important, such as cooking healthy meals for our family and then sitting down to a meal together at the table. I have to say that although I don't really enjoy cooking, I do enjoy serving my family well. And of all the seasons of the year, winter is probably my favorite for spending time in the kitchen, creating soups or stews, maybe a roast or casserole. They have kind of the same base ingredients, and it just feels more natural for me to do these types of meals. So tonight I've chosen an Italian soup, which is going to be served with garlic bread. So again, the idea here is that because I'm not worried about clutter, I'm not worried about finding the tools I need to create the meal, my brain isn't sidetracked wondering when the dripping sink is going to be fixed, I can just focus on creating this meal and sharing my love with my family in this way. And then sitting down together and enjoying each other's company, it really is such a gift. Another benefit of living in a simplified home is that it can be reset very easily. I like the fact that even with very little energy after a busy day like today was, I tackled a lot of different projects. I'm very tired. It doesn't take much effort at all to get things back in order and then prepared for the next day. And so every night I like to be sure to sweep under the kitchen table or the dining room table where we've eaten our meal, and then in the kitchen as well. Any crumbs that are on the floor, my family brings the dishes to the kitchen and I enjoy washing them. And this also means that I know what to expect when I wake up in the morning. I'm not going to be confronted with a pile of dishes on the counter or a mountain of laundry by the washing machine. I can wake up with this peace of mind knowing that the day is reset and I am off to a good start already. And so that is one of my favorite benefits of living in a simplified home. But my absolute favorite thing about living in a simplified home is that we are able to enjoy it more. So again, at the end of this very busy day, there is still enough time for my husband to open up a brand new puzzle that I found at a thrift store and start on that, and I can read on the couch next to him and we can just enjoy each other's company. And it just feels so good to enjoy your home. I think that's what was really missing for me when we lived in a cluttered environment. It was always stressful. I was always thinking about what needed to be done instead of just enjoying the space itself, because our homes should be our sanctuaries. And if we are constantly confronted with issues that we have to deal with, clutter that we need to maintain, we aren't able to fully enjoy those moments in our home. And so if there is one benefit on this list that I would encourage you, if you're wanting to simplify your home, this benefit is one worth striving for. All right, everyone, thank you so much for coming along on this busy and productive day. I hope that your year is off to a great start. And if you're looking to simplify your home, I hope that this video can be encouragement to you of some of the benefits that you will experience down the road. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.